Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. My name's Leah and today we have the Leah Way Book Awards 2023. Woo! Okay, I have some categories and I think I'm going to do this every year. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 categories. Not all of them are good. Some of them are not so good. But, I mean, and if you want to steal these categories and do this video, then by all means do it. I didn't want to do like a fave book of the year or worst book of the year. I decided to put everything together. So my categories are, the categories are most surprising book, most disappointing, oh, there's a dog, most disappointing book, my fave series, favourite series, my best graphic novel. Oh, if you haven't read a graphic novel, then don't use that one. My most likely to reread. The most recommended, so the book that I've mostly recommended this year. The most forgettable book. The best plot twist. The worst book of 2023, and then the best book of 2023. So those are my categories. If you want to take part and do your own book awards and use some of those, then please do and tag me in your video because I want to see it. So I don't have the books on me. I'm going to just put the pictures up because I just find it a real bind to go and search them out and get them out of it. Like some of them I don't have. So I might as well just do all of them as a picture on the screen. So the winner of the most surprising book of the year for me was Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. So I am not a fantasy reader at all, and I kind of was hesitant going into this. I knew it was cozy fantasy, but I was like, ogres and trolls and me, like, it's not for me, which is weird because actually I probably would have liked it as a kid. But I loved it. It was so good. This got I want to say it got a 4-star from me. It wasn't a 5-star read, but it was good. I really enjoyed it. I actually did this as my first and only buddy read. Oh no, it wasn't. It was my second. It was my first buddy read, but it wasn't my only one because that comes later. Funnily enough, you'll see why that's funny. Legends and Lattes is about what is she? An ogre called Viv, who has decided to give up the slaying lifestyle and decides to open a coffee shop, which in this realm is not something that's available. And it's how she comes to build this coffee shop as a part of the community. And it's so cozy and it's so lovely and it's such an unlikely story. But it's really good fun, and I definitely would recommend it if you are somebody who doesn't like fantasy but enjoys cozy novels. So if you're a fan of cozy thrillers, is there a cozy thriller? That's an oxymoron. Cozy murder mysteries like me, or cozy anything else, try this one. There definitely isn't cozy thrillers. I think that I've made that up, haven't I? So, moving on to most disappointing book of 2023. And this was another buddy read and the only other one. This was the only other one. This most disappointing award goes to Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellors. What a disappointment. It started off so strong. I was willing this book to be amazing. And it was a meh ending. I was gutted. There was a moment that just completely shattered both myself and my buddy read, that it just didn't need to be in the book, or at least as graphic as it was, or even like it just didn't need to be there. The characters weren't that likeable. Not that that's a problem. I don't mind unlikable characters. Oh, another dog. Don't mind unlikable characters, but I do despise it when you want to root for somebody, or they like, or if they're going to be unlikable, give them a reason at the end. Like just the other characters that were mentioned, there was a beginning of something that could have been amazing and then it just fell flat. I felt so frustrated with this book. It was a debut novel and I feel like it was almost biographical in some way, because I think that Coco is essentially Cleo. But it was disappointing. Don't know whether we'll see anything else from Coco Mellors. Who knows? I don't know if anybody enjoyed it. Let me know. So that leads on to the Fave series. Now, this was really, really hard because I've got two and they're very different. However, my Fave series does have to go to Heartstopper. So I read this year all 4 of the Heartstopper graphic novels, and I was just bowled over with how good they were. I connected to them so well. Alice Osman has created this beautiful way of telling a story through graphic novels that has, I mean, the characters don't even have to say words. You felt it jump off the page. I loved that series. That is a 5-star series, every single one. And that's why the other series, which I will tell you, that came close, was the Thursday Murder Club. And I read all of that this year as well. It came close, but not every book was 5-star. Like it was for Heartstopper. So that is my Fave series of the year. And that leads nicely on to the best graphic novel of 2023 for me. Now, yes, Heartstopper was 5-star. Yes, it was amazing. But my heart is with My Little Garlic Friend. And the best graphic novel is Garlic and the Vampire. And I've got to say, and Garlic and the Witch. It's a duology. But that graphic novel is so beautiful, so fun, so cute. And Garlic is adorable. Like, the character is stunning. I loved the story. I loved how it went. I just was gripped from start to finish. I loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. And the fact that it was a duology and the second one was just as good as the first. I mean, yeah, okay, Heartstopper the same. So good. I really can't wait to see more from that. It's Brie Paulson. I can't wait to see more from Brie. Loved it. Okay, so the award for most likely to reread goes to, drum rolls, Study for Obedience by Sarah Bernstein. I know this is going to be a big thing for some people. This was on the Booker Prize list, right? I wanted to read the whole list. I didn't get round to it. I still got the books and I will read them. But Study for Obedience was right up there for the one that I wanted to read the most. When I read it, it was such a mind-twisty book. A short book that I read in a couple of hours. But it just, there was so many questions and I loved that. And I would absolutely reread it, and I would definitely reread it and annotate it. So although I didn't give it 5 stars, it could well be a 5-star in the end because it was just so thought-provoking, and I still think about it a lot, and I loved it. I thought it was a great book. I thought it was right to be on the Booker list. There were so many people that hated it. They did not get it. And that's what I love about books. Like, those judges obviously saw that what we saw, but people who read it and went, absolutely not. Why was Barbara Kingsolver not on the list? Honestly, I just thought it was brilliant. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. So, the most recommended book of 2023 was, and this is, again, quite left field, is Cursed Bread by Sophie McIntosh. So I saw this on somebody's, I want to say a wrap-up, a monthly wrap-up, or it might have been a prize nomination. I can't remember now. I know that she was nominated before for a Booker Prize, but Cursed Bread just gave me the thing that I didn't realise I wanted in books. I love weird books. I didn't know this. It was kind of gothic-y. It was mind-bending. You had an unreliable narrator. There was timeline shifts. I'm sure lots of people would not get behind that book. I loved it. And there was a really big twist for me at the end, which I kind of was like, oh, I like that you've put that author's note at the end. That really works for me. So don't read it. It's not a spoiler, but it definitely changes your perspective on what you've just read. I really thoroughly enjoyed that book. I think about it a lot. I got loads of quotes from it. I found it so intriguing, and I remembered a film, and now I'm reading the book. called Perfume, The Story of a Murderer by Patrick Suskind. And I'd seen that film so many times, and it was that kind of gothic-y, weird. It wasn't horror. It was kind of just like really chaotic and a bit odd. I liked it, and that reminded me of it so much. It was based in France, same as that. So just something about it. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely got, we don't know the time, but they've all got this sort of historical feel about them, although they're not. I don't think all of them are. Well, one of them is. So, most forgettable read of 2023. And it's really, I know I enjoyed it. I didn't give it a 5-star. I think I gave it a 3-star. But the most forgettable read is, oh my God, what a complete ashling. And it's based on a Facebook group. And an ashling is like somebody, it's a description of somebody in Ireland. Of a girl, the sort of type of girl that's maybe a little bit ditzy, a little bit. Or somebody who wants things a certain way, like goes through life wanting things a certain way. Anyway, I remember enjoying it. I remember a little bit of the story, but I've completely forgotten it. And that is weird because I usually forget most books. I usually remember most books. I forget barely any of them. So I remembered the sort of start of it, but I kind of can't. Oh, I do remember. Oh, yeah, but it's forgettable. It was forgettable. And I think I was still clinging on to this notion that I really enjoy rom-com. I don't enjoy rom-com anymore. That was my thing. Like, rom-com was my genre. It really isn't. I'm not interested. Mind-blowing. Best plot twist. Best plot twist. That did not come out right, did it? So, my 2023 award for best plot twist has to be The Square of Sevens by Laura... What's her name? Laura Shepherd something. Oh my gosh, I feel really bad now. I don't know her name. Anyway, Square of Sevens. So this book has been out a little while. I got it on Audible, and I did something absolutely ridiculous. I spoiled it for myself, or so I thought. So I managed to go from chapter 17 to chapter 70 by mistake. I must have knocked my phone, something. I must have done something. And I hadn't really been paying attention. I was on 1.5 speed. And I didn't notice that I'd done it because it was still the same characters talking. Anyway, and I thought it was a flashback or something. Anyway, so I'm listening to it. And I'm listening for a few chapters. And I'm like, oh my God, this is kind of weird. Like, they're telling us stuff. And I thought I'd spoilt it for myself. But I was like, do you know what? I can't go from 17 to 70 and not know the context. So I'm going to go and listen to it. It's hard going. It's a long, long book. But I listened to it, and I tell you what, it was worth it because there was a twist. And I'm annoyed at myself because I thought I'd ruined it and I wasn't going to listen to it. And I'm so glad I stuck with it. I stuck with it. I went to the end. Again, this isn't a 5-star read, but the plot twist was so good that I didn't see it coming. Whereas I did read some other books that have got notorious plot twists. But I did see it coming. I saw them coming and it frustrated me. But this one I didn't. And I was like, oh, yay, I love that. So that was very, very good. And it got me. It got me. I thought I'd got the ending and I didn't. And I thought I'd ruined it and I didn't. The worst book of 2023. This is a biggie, right? So I joined NetGalley just because I'd seen other people talking about it. And I thought this is a great way to find books that are not in a genre that I enjoy, that I can read and then review, because I review them when I'm on Goodreads. So I thought, why not? This is a great idea. And I downloaded one called The Forever Moment. And I regret it because it was absolutely horrendous. I did not enjoy it. It was a rom-com. There was a man writing from a male gaze, the woman's perspective, and it was shocking. I'm really sorry to the author. I'm sure he is a really nice person, but I didn't enjoy it at all. There was a moment where right, this is a bit of a spoiler alert, so just kind of go away for 30 seconds. There's a moment in the book where you think that he slept with his daughter. Or he insinuates that this person is his daughter, then he realises not, but then he sleeps with her still. Ew! Why would you do that? It was so gross. I just don't get why he did that. And I was just like, no. This book has gone from it was bad anyway to absolutely awful. Did not enjoy, would not recommend, do not go and read it. Not a great book. No. And I think it's got like 2.5 stars on Goodreads. It is shocking. It's not good. I think that I don't know, it wasn't good. Could have been good, wasn't good. And then the best book of 2023, and this is going to really shock some people actually. The best book of 2023 for me is not a 2023 release, although there was a book released from this author. It is the second book in the Thursday Murder Club series, which is The Man Who Died Twice. Now, I know a lot of people really like book number 3, but I loved book number 2. I loved that we found out a bit more about the characters and we have this storyline. And there were a couple of twists that I really enjoyed. Like, I really, really loved book number 2. More than any of the others. I gave most of the series 5 or 4.5 stars. Apart from the last book, I gave 4 stars. And that's because I worked out what had happened. And that annoyed me. But it was still amazing. Maybe 4.5. But I did give 4.5. Because I couldn't bring myself to give it a 4. But I love the series. I love the characters. I know a lot of people are struggling with the Thursday Murder Club as a whole. But I listened to it on Audible, so I feel like it's a very different experience. Because the characters' voices are there by a narrator. And so it felt like it was quite easy to flip into them. I think a lot of people struggle with the amount of characters that are in there. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good. I'm sad that we had to have a different narrator for the last 2 books and the first 2, although they were both amazing. But Leslie, what was her name? Leslie thingy was off doing a film. So, she only did the first 2 books because it was COVID. But I think Richard Osman has done a really, really good job. And for me, The Man Who Died Twice is my favourite book this year. Like, it scored 5 stars. I think about it a lot. I really enjoyed the way that we understood the characters more. I don't want to spoil anything, but I just loved the sort of twist of who Elizabeth was. And I hadn't thought that at all. I don't know why. I probably should have done. But I wasn't even thinking that was going to be a thing, you see. So it was just really good. Really good writing, really gripping, really got me. I loved it. I only read 53 books this year. There were some really cracking ones, and I'll give some honourable mentions. Mainly because I feel like there's some that I definitely, that could have been my book of the year. And one of those is Blessings, which was a NetGalley book, and it's about a young Nigerian boy who's LGBTQIA+, and his sort of, it's a coming of age story, but how his family and the community and the nation around him, how they were so, how anti-gay and how anti-gay it is in that country, and how he navigated that. And it was just really powerful. I really thoroughly enjoyed that book. I also think that up there for me was probably, what else? I think maybe the Cursed Bread was there, but it was most recommended, and I do think that The Man Who Died Twice did pip it to the post. So yeah, I have really enjoyed the last 12 months. Well, it wasn't 12 months reading, it was 6 months, because I picked up a book again properly in June, and I'm really excited for the next 12 months. There are some classics on my list, my TBR, which I want to read this year. Never read a classic. I've found myself going into new genres, and it's just completely blowing my mind. I think COVID has changed the way that I look at things and the way I perceive things. And, there was so much going on in the world, and like rom-com just doesn't hit the same. Like, I don't need that flowery stuff anymore. I want something that's a little bit mind-bending to sort of bring me back to reality. Something that's so weird that COVID doesn't feel weird. Does that make sense? Anyway, that is the Leah Way Book Awards 2023. I hope you have enjoyed them. I enjoyed doing them, and I cannot wait to bring you more book content in 2024. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to leave a comment, please do. If you would like to subscribe, then please do. It really makes my day. I hope you're having a good day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.